As the season comes to an end for the Area Pro Series, we're going to yet eliminate another 4 drivers. We're coming to another round, and after this round, we'll have the final race, the championship race next week. Only 4 drivers will compete. 4 drivers will be walking home away tonight, and we'll find out in just a short time who they will be. The drama is going to kick up. We saw on Monday night a lot of things happen, and a lot of drivers getting kicked out that we thought weren't going to after things just went absolutely awry. We'll see what happens here at some classic short track action here at Richmond Raceway. My name is Finicuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy. Guys, glad to have you back with me. Can't wait for some classic short track racing.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of classic short track racing. We had nonstop action on Monday night. Definitely drivers who we thought would compete for the championship knocked out Monday night. Tuesday night, we were at Gateway for the Truck Series, but that might be the most drama we see all week from that track. We'll just have to wait and see. But we got one more race at Richmond this week in the Pro Series. It's going to be a wild one. We still got 8 drivers. Any of them can make it, but we do know still one driver who is going to be locked in no matter what, and that is James Scioli. No surprise there, as we'll look at the points soon enough, as there it is right there. Not the same story we had on Monday and Tuesday night. Not too close on the cut line. Cameron Hearn, a decent gap. David Weishart, Travis Beckner. Beckner's the last one in, Hunter Sleppy. He's in by 10. And then Matthew Bell and Shane Tyrion both tied, but below the cut line.
But really, the one I'm looking at is Ryan Hart's all the way down 18 points below the cut line. There's a slim chance where he could still point his way in, but most likely you're going to need a win to get in that scenario. And I mean, it could happen. Gonna have a fast enough car. I mean, he's got the speed capable of doing it. Furness as well. They both have good enough speed. And even drivers like Cameron Hearn, David Weishart, Beckner, even though they're entering tonight above the cutoff, they could have something go wrong and they could end up finding themselves below the cutoff at the end of this one here, Finian, as qualifying is still going underway with that 7 car on pole for the time being.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's doing a fantastic job here. And a quick look at the team standings coming to tonight. You can see David Weiser Racing really struggling with finding enough space for the amount of win stickers they have this season. They've been doing a fantastic job. 10 wins this season so far. Almost a 100-point lead over Slaughter Sim Racing, then Sky Motorsports, IRLC, and Physicus Motorsports, rounding out the top 5 in that standings. Qualifying's already underway here. Sorry for the delay. Had some technical difficulties, but a lot of the front runners have qualified so far. As you mentioned, Hunter, James Scully up there on the top. Travis Beckner doing a good job in second. John Furness and Matthew Bell doing a great job getting 3rd and 4th place due to and this is really good for them because they can get a lot of points out of tonight. And again, they're in a position where they really need a lot of points. Arguably, they need a win, but they're also in a good position for that, Connor.
Yeah, some of those guys below the cut line in a good position to get that race win. Someone who is not going to be is Ryan Hartz. Out of 20 drivers to put a time down, he's qualified down in 19th, which is surprising to me because he was the fastest man in practice with a 22.103, and that lap would have put him pole in this qualifying session by a decent bit over Scioli, but must have had a mishap on his second lap and wasn't able to get a time down. And still waiting on Shane Therian. As I say that, he is on track getting a time down, but that is going to be a tough hill to climb for Hartz. And we saw on Monday night, you do not want to start in the mid-pack because crazy things could happen on a restart.
Yeah, there's so much chaos that happened Monday night with the restarts, and especially early on. The second half of the race, though, kind of evened out. Did have a couple of late race cautions in there to mix some things up as Darian comes across the stripe, going to stay 20th. Nope, move up to 11th, so Hart's really in a pickle here as he drops to 20th on the board. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, seeing if anyone has anything for the 7 of Scioli, and with guys like Furness and Bell 3rd and 4th on the qualifying chart, a win would definitely help them out, and that could spell disaster for Travis Beckner.
You definitely could. Again, the way the points are so close, any big wrecks, especially with a decent-sized fuel tonight, could definitely cause a big swing. As Bryce Senezek comes around, he's starting his 2nd lap, and we've been seeing usually lap 2 ends up being a little bit quicker with the tires warmed up to temperature. That was a little bit more in the next gen. I could see the Xfinity being a little bit more swing either way, depending on how the drivers attack this. But Bryce Senezek working through 3 and 4, a little bit tighty on the bottom. And out of the final corner, he'll come across the line. 18th at the moment. Final lap is quick enough for anything better. He will move up to 16th only.
Did get a spot there from, I think, Shane Abbey and maybe Garrett Grant. Quick note on Grant. Forgot that if all the chaos that happened Tuesday night at Gateway, forgot to mention Garrett Grant made his 200th start in area on Tuesday night. So what an achievement for him. He's obviously the first driver to get that. He's this series' Ironman, but wasn't able to mention it because of how wild Tuesday night was. So we'll be able to at least mention start 201.
See how good 201 can be as got another car coming out. I think this is Colin Fambro. Yeah, he already qualified, so
Yeah,
he's just going to get more practice laps in.
Yeah, he already used his lap. He's coming. This is technically finishing his second lap, so he's already good to go. Although I'm sure he doesn't feel like he's good to go. All the way down in 23rd. Slowest time by a decent amount. I think made a mistake on his qualifying lap, so he's going to want to improve. Obviously, he's going to have to wait for the race in order to do so for that. He's just kind of out there getting practice laps in. He's the only driver out on the racetrack at the moment. Still waiting for Andrew Santo, Forrest Smith, Justin Asogek, and Spencer Brown to see if they will get a lap in. And with 40 seconds remaining, I highly doubt that. So we'll take a look here at your qualifying results. Right here, session results. It's James Scully up on top, the man to beat this season. Beckner, Furness, Bell, solid qualifying efforts for them. Cameron Hearn, David Weishart, 7th and 8th. And as you go to the next page results, Shane Terrian, one of the lower drivers out of here, outside in 11th. And then way down the order, 22nd, Ryan Hart. This is not what he wants, especially after what happened Monday night, because he was in a very similar situation going to that night.
Yeah, and he was, like I said, he was so fast in practice, but had some sort of issue on his qualifying lap, and he'll start pretty much at the very rear of the field, and it's going to be tough to come through. Xfinity cars, the damage on these cars, not very forgiving, so you have to be very careful getting through the field if you're someone like Hartz tonight.
Well, tonight's going to be an interesting one as we get towards our Roasted Gems Coffee starring lineup. But first, race fans, be sure to check out the Area iRacing Twitch channel and subscribe for only $5 a month. You can watch all area broadcasts commercial-free, and you can also use the new Area iRacing emotes in the chat, and you'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber. You can use to redeem free merchandise, and I'm kind of saving mine to get the most expensive item, which is the Champion hoodie. So make sure you wager your bonus points wisely, Finian, as we get to the starting grid presented by Roasted Gems Coffee.
Indeed, and also, race fans, be sure to start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code AreaIRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. In the warm-up period now, waiting for the drivers to get their debrief here heading into tonight, and I'm sure they're definitely going to have to pay attention to it because, again, we've seen with such drama, a lot of things happen Monday night. Drivers just trying to go at it. A lot of cautions on Monday night. How do we feel for this race? You know, obviously with the Xfinity cars, Pro Series cars, compared to the next-gen cars, are we expecting to see this race be a little bit more green or a little bit more on the caution side of things?
I think we're going to see more green flag running, personally. I don't think you really want to beat and bang in these cars too much, and I think we're going to see a lot more drivers get spread out in this race, just because I think the dirty air affects those cup cars so much more. But it will be an issue tonight, but I think we'll see some good racing tonight. But it all depends on who's racing who, because we've seen some drama the past few weeks.
The numbers say another story there, Connor, as we've only been here twice, so tonight is the third time the Pro Series has been to Richmond. Cameron Hearn won Season 1, Greg Mitchell Season 3. And both races had 9 cautions in each of them, so feel like we're going to get a good bit of decent cautions, although they did happen towards the first half of the race, kind of like what we saw Monday night. And then there was a late race caution in both races, so around 11 to go is when the last caution comes out. So expect it to come down to the late race restart here, Finian.
Indeed, we'll see how it plays out here, but we'll also see how our starting lineup is looking here. Starting on pole, as we mentioned, James Scully in the number 7 machine. Can anyone beat him in this series so far? We'll see. Could be Travis Beckner. He started from row 2 second place in row number 1.
Yeah, they both had drama Tuesday night. We'll see if it carries over to the Pro Series. Row number 2, more playoff drivers who will likely need the win tonight. John Furness and Matthew Bell, 2 drivers who've been so fast all season long.
We'll go back to row number 2. No playoff drivers on this row. Justin Munsell in the number 6 machine, lined up in 5th. Greg Mitchell in the 2, lined up in 6th next to him.
Greg Mitchell was last year's winner after stealing it from Scioli in the closing laps. Row number 4, Cameron Hearn, who's got the biggest points gap, but it's anything but safe going into tonight. He starts 7 alongside David Weishart, who's in a similar scenario.
Moving on back to row number 5, it's going to be Chris Rabel in the ninth position in the 29 car. Next to him, Dom DeLeo in the 22 car in 10th place.
Shane Therian starts tonight in the 11th position. Not bad, but needs to get towards those playoff drivers. Alongside him, a former playoff driver who got kicked out in the first round. It's Alex Weaver in the 62.
Moving on back to 13, it's going to be Mason Kane lined up in the 31 car. Next to him, Brad Slaughter Jr. in the 9 car in 14th place.
Nick Silver in that 46 Camaro starting in the 15th position alongside another Camaro, the 09, the butt kicker Camaro, the great looking green paint scheme on Bryce Semisek.
Yeah, really beautiful looking car. Back in 17, Shane Abbey in the 84 machine is going to line up next to Garrett Graham. We talked about him. Over 200 starts for the number 5 car. We'll see what he can do on this start, lined up from 18.
And then row number 10, Casey Lakatos eliminated in round 1 himself, starting in 19th position in his SimTV/Grid Life Supra alongside a Ford Mustang and Jordan Martin.
Moving on back to Steve Durham in 21st, the number 1 machine, and then in 22nd, the last of the playoff drivers, Ryan Hartz, has a big hole to dig himself out of tonight. We'll see what he can do if he can work his way up through the order.
Rounding out the order just about, Colin Thurman will already put a time down. He'll start alongside Justin Anasogak, the Daytona winner at the beginning of the season, starting 24th.
Moving on back to 25th, it's going to be Forrest Smith in the 81. Andrew Santo line up in 26th in the 10 car.
Then the final position tonight, rounding out our 27-car field, is Spencer Brown in that 95, ditching the Barbie colors, but still with a nice purple Central United paint scheme.
All right, we can see our drivers rolling off. Gentlemen, who are going to be your picks to win this race?
I'm going to try to be somewhat smart with my pick. I don't know if Michael Crahan's still talking about the standings between broadcasters. I think I've lost ground to Kyle, but I'm going to go with Travis. No, I'm not going to go with Travis Beckner. Sorry, Travis. I'm going to go with Matthew Bell. I think it's about time he breaks through. Plus, he needs this one tonight big time.
All right, Hunter, real quick, what's your pick?
I'm going to go with the man that's 34 points now below the cutoff line. Ryan Hartz, I feel like tonight's going to be the night. He's due for a win. It's going to come tonight at the right time. Let Monday night get away from him, but I feel like tonight will paint a different picture. Finian, who is your pick?
My pick, let's see. My pick, I think I'm going to have to go. You know what Connor didn't pick him? I'm going to pick him. Travis Beckner in the 27. I think he's got what it takes here. I don't want to pick James Kelly because let's be honest. James got enough wins in the win column. But we'll see. He's probably listening to us. He's probably saying, I'm going to prove you guys wrong tonight. Starting from pole, I'm not sure how many poles he's had this season, but I can definitely assure you it's a pretty large number. He's been doing fantastic. He's been doing everything right in order to get this championship, but he's going to have to do a little bit more just to get out of this week and then also finish it the next week. And also, we'll find out here who are going to be the 3 drivers that have to face him going on in the next week. We will see here in 150 laps time. The pace car left-hand turn off the pit lane, and we are green here at Richmond. Bill rocketing out of turn 4. Skyley with the lead over Travis Beckner, John Furness, then Justin Munsell with Matthew Bell in a bit of a battle. Cameron Hearn to his inside, a little bit of a 4-car battle with David Weishart and Greg Mitchell in tow, and I think Bell has got a piece of the wall off of turn 2.
Yeah, he did just barely tap it, but I don't think there's much damage to it. He was able to, I was really thankful for Travis Beckner. He made it to turn 1, lap 1 this time. He did not make it there Monday night without damage, but he slots in 2nd as Hearn's clear for that 5th position. Matthew Bell slots in 6th. Now it's Weishart and last year's winner here, Greg Mitchell, who's the one stuck on the top line now.
A little further back with 38 to Shane Therian, running in the 10th spot. Got Chris Rabel just in front of him, trying to pass Greg Mitchell. And then right behind him, Mason King, Dom DeLeo, Nick Silver, all jockeying inside the top 15.
Yeah, they're all duking out for position. Everyone knows restart's one of the best times to gain positions because everyone is so close together. So, as we saw Mason King get a little bit of a bop at the wall, and a couple of drivers further back also getting some pieces all the wall. But up front, checking again with our leader, Skyley over Beckner with a little bit of a 2-car breakaway from John Furness, running decently in 3rd. Matthew Bell, though, at least initially not the bestest starts. He's already down 2 spots. Again, still a lot of racing left to go as Greg Mitchell was very sideways in the background.
We hit the wall pretty good. I think one of those times there's got a little bit of right front damage, and that will hurt you at a track like Richmond where center of the corner rotation is so important. If you don't have that rotation in the middle, you are going to be very, very slow on the long run here, as we'll see if the Battle for the Lead starts to heat up. Beckner and Sky Holy, bumper to bumper. They were bumper to bumper Gateway Tuesday night, and they traded bumpers a lot that night as well before Cameron Hearn got into the mix as well. So haven't seen the Truck Series antics mix into the Pro Series yet, but you just never know, as these two still continue to try to break away from John Furness, but Furness was faster than them last lap.
And if Furness does take the lead, that would push David Weishart outside the cutoff. As they run, Beckner's up a spot, 14 points above the cutoff. Weishart only plus 11. So if the 28 gets around these two cars, and that's going to put Weishart for the moment outside. But as they run, Furness still 15 outside the cutoff. A win and in situation is very much on the table. And right behind him, you got Cameron Hearn looking to take over fourth from Justin Munsell, but not applying pressure just yet.
Justin Munsell, you can see him there focused, as always, trying to see if he can catch back up to the 28. And of course, he was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, so he's not running for anything at the moment other than really wins, but he's looking pretty good tonight, starting in fifth, but he's got a mirror full of Cameron Hearn. Woo, Cameron Hearn, you actually have to...
crash. Oh, we got a crash in the back. Forrest Smith spun in turn one.
Forrest Smith around, no caution. We'll see, can he get it lit up and in the right direction? He will, so caution will be avoided here. Well, let's see what happened here. Take a look at your Simrat Market replay. Whoa. Oh, that's hard. Yeah, hardware.
That's not the first time this season that's happened to him as well. He's had that happen 2 or 3 times this season, but thankfully no one else got caught up in that. Oh, Andrew Santos around out of turn 2, so that one does bring out the caution.
And just as we come back live, another caution will happen here. We'll see what happened. Another look at your Simrat Market replay. Heading off into turn 1, Steve Durham in the 1 in behind the 10. And Santo hit the yellow line.
He got below the yellow line, hit the apron, 360. Woo, Anna Sogak and Brown barely got by him, but everyone does get by the 10, just like they did get by the 81. As you get a good look of how much that apron transition can catch you out here is on our Simrat Market replay. You can see he's on the apron right there, Hunter, and eventually it's going to spin you around.
Yeah, you want to hug the apron as much as you can in the middle of the corner just to run the preferred groove around the track, but if you get too low, then you get the result of what happened to Andrew Santos. So very early on, lap 12, first caution. Finian, going to be interesting to see the different strategies with some of these guys as we have pit stops going on.
Yeah, quite a few drivers opting to go to pit lane. 9 drivers staying out, everyone else coming in. So quite a bit of a mix, and I guess drivers deciding whether or not 10 laps on tires are worth it or not.
Trying to look at Cameron Hearn's times. He pit from 5th, the first one in, first one out as well. His times were already off half a second from his fastest lap. Cameron Hearn's were about 0.4 of a second off, so there is some fall off there. We'll see if it's enough to get back through the field, as I believe he will restart around the 11th position, so this could work out.
Yeah, so only the top 10. Well, Steve Durham's on pit road now, so I'm going to make that top 9 that stayed out, including Andrew Santo. So that'll throw a monkey wrench into things, as well, we'll double them up here next time by. But there's Shane Therian, only lost a couple of spots since the initial start of the race. He did come down in pit, though. So we'll see how the new tires shape out for him compared to the top 3 of Scioli, Beckner, and Furness.
Also an update too on Ryan Hartz and his situation. He's up 3 spots and came down on pit lane. I actually would have thought that he would have tried to stay out under this caution just to get himself some track position, but I guess he feels tires are going to be a little bit more worth it at this point in the game, so playing a little bit more defensive with the number 3. Trying to look at who else we can take a look at. So interesting drivers that stayed out. Shane Abbey stayed out, so he's up about 8 spots from where he started. Garrett Grant up 10. Jordan Martin up 13, starting in 20th. He's up to 7th now. And then everyone else, for the most part, was near the front. Chris Rabel onwards, all started inside the top 10.
Yeah, most of those guys at the front, the top 4 were the guys who stayed out. Everyone else, pretty much everyone else behind, came down to pit road. Martin, Grant, and Abbey are the ones you're going to have to look at. The guys who are closer to the rear, right in front of the guys who were at the front on fresh rubber.
Real quick, I don't see a pit time for Shane Abbey. Did he just go down pit road?
I think he did.
Done?
He might have missed his pit and decided to stay out of it with some checking up and some bumpers hit. As we go back green here for the restart. Ooh, Justin Munsell getting door-to-door action there with John Furness to the inside.
Oh, wrecked Alex Weaver around. Oh, trying to see who's in that. Bryce Senesac. And Greg Mitchell with hard damage.
Ooh.
And Steve Durham got a big.
Caution will fly again near the back of the pack. We'll see. Whoa, as the guys actually hit again. Trying to sort themselves out of here after a chaotic restart here.
Oh, Weaver kind of cut across Lakatos under braking, and Lakatos check up. And Greg Mitchell and Steve Durham got the worst of that.
We'll see here from Lakatos' point of view.
It's a really strange wreck.
Yeah, it started turn 1 here. You'll see Lakatos' point of view. And Weaver just cuts down. Lakatos couldn't check up. He at the end of that wall as well. There's where Durham got the damage into the back of the 50. Those are teammates who got together.
Front bumper ripped off that number 1.
Take a look at it from Bryce Senizak. See how he ended up getting involved. So there you can see up ahead, there's 62 going across the 50. Gets turned.
Oh, man. Ryan Hart's just got by that.
Take a look and see how the 3 managed to skate by after. And this is what I was a little bit concerned with him. He's just being stuck back in the middle field. You can see with the 62 right ahead of him.
Happens.
Yeah, right there. Narrowly avoided disaster.
Happened right under him. Thankfully tonight he's able to avoid it. But probably not done yet, as that's our second caution in 16 laps, as now we're working lap 17. As those guys on new tires, that doesn't really do much to them. Hurd did get, I suppose, 9th out of it over Shane Abbey, but Skyley Beckner keep the front row. We're just getting that attrition rate up pretty early.
I was surprised when they went 5 laps without a caution, because typically it happens really early. And Monday night, they didn't even cross the start-finish line, some of them, and the first caution already came out. So already seen 2 quick ones here within the first 17 laps of the race. Hoping that this next one we can get some green flag runs, and so we can see the difference between the 18-lap old tires, well, 12-lap difference on tires, 18 laps old for everyone inside the top 8, 6 laps for everyone outside the top 8.
Yeah, and also good to see. One thing we have seen, though, is some SimRat Market replays. Race fans, be sure to check out simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simply used and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. At simratmarket.com here, as we got the 1 to green, and we'll see how this restart's going to play out there. A lot of checking up near the front, which is a bit surprising. We saw, I think it was Scioli just trying to control the field, as well as Beckner. Furness got into the back of him, and I think Munsell's got into the back of the driver ahead of him. So a bit of a stack up, and it's going to make me a little bit worried, because even towards the back, too, they looked a little bit chaotic. We'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah, looking back on the replay from my point of view, it was really Furness accelerated to the bumper of Scioli to try to get the best jump on that start. And when he hit Scioli, Beckner tried to go as well. So that's what really caused the logjam. Could have contributed to that crash. We'll see if the same happens again.
Pace car off. Field back in control of James Scully as we get the green here at Richmond again. And a very strong launch for the number 7 as the rest of the field heads off into turn 1. Furness trying to see if he can have a crack at second place to the inside of the 27.
This is going to be his best chance on a restart to get the bottom from that 27 of Beckner. He fired it into turn 3. Beckner's giving him almost no room on that bottom line, trying to fight him off. And this is exactly what Skyler will want to see. A lot of what he usually sees, the battle for second going on and him scooting away, as they're going to be dead even in the turn 1 with 6 and 43 for 4th place as well. Garrett Grant slid up the track in the background.
Oh boy, and it's not done yet, as they just now head into turn 3. Right behind them, though, Munsell on the outside, Bell on the inside, jockeying for 4th. Hearn and Rabel duking it out for 7th and 6th. And then right behind them, we got Jordan.
Another crash.
Whoa.
That's a few drivers. Dom DeLeo, Senesac, Slaughter, Fambro. What in the world?
Oh, man. That's...
Oh, my gosh.
We have a driver up on his roof.
That's Shane Abbey.
Yeah. And That was an
Okay.
interesting flip, but we'll see what happened. I could have sworn I saw that his car got into the wall, so I'm going to assume that's where this started here. Coming off of turn 4, watch the 84, he just slips up, taps the wall, gets into Dom DeLeo, collects Colin Fambro as well. Bryce Senizak and Weaver made contact, and then this happened.
It's a
Someone used
springboard
their
in the
voodoo doll.
infield.
Someone used their voodoo doll in St. Abbey.
No, I think there's a spring over there or something. I've seen that before, but not like that.
Well,
Like
there's a very strong case for why this car needs a new damage model right there. There's, you see Alex Weaver got into Senizak, collected him, and he went around. And somehow through the thick of it, it looks like any of the playoff drivers avoided. I'm curious to see just how close Reinhardt's got to this time.
I think he was just in front of it again.
Yeah, wow.
Getting away with it.
Disaster.
Yeah, and that took out about 5 or 6. Senizak got more damage out of that. He was another one involved. Brett Slaughter Jr. might have gotten some of that. That's another driver who was on old tires as well. Abby missed his stall. See if he gets a view of that. Just at a corner of your eye, you see a car flip and think that is not possible here.
Jason Cos's point of view, driving through. Ooh.
Oh wow! I thought he was involved.
Barely avoided it.
Unfortunate end to Abby's night. He probably would have been able to at least drive it away, but the racing gods, the e-racing gods, had other ideas, I suppose, as he sits on pit road with damage, along with Durham, Senizak, and Alex Weaver, Dom DeLeo, Spencer Brown, and Slaughter did get some damage, but I think that 9 car will be okay.
There's about 3 cars with their whole front bumpers ripped off, so we're going to have our own modified division tonight as well, I guess. There's one of them. There's
Alex
another.
Weaver, one of them. Steve Durham, one of the others. And then as we look up, you have to go too far up the order. And Greg Mitchell in the 2.
All right, so we're up to 3, those are rookie numbers for modified divisions.
Oh,
so
well, we're only on lap 25, under 50, so I'm sure they're going to be willing to recruit for the modified division.
Just have to wait and see. Even Skyly was a modified driver at the end of last season's race that led 146 laps of 160 and did not get the victory after a late race incident with Garrett Grant. A few less laps this year, 150 down from 160, so maybe that can help his case so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, looking back at it, last year Mitchell only led 10 laps, but led the most important one at the end of the day. And we're looking through here too. If you start inside the first 4 or 5 positions, you're setting up for a pretty good run tonight as well. Hearn won it from the pole in season 1. Mitchell won it from the 5th spot. And I've already lost track of cautions. Are we at number 4?
3.
Might have been at
3.
Oh.
Don't forget, last year when Mitchell won that race, that won his way. That was winning into the Final 4 for him. So could have that happen again. We'll have to see.
It could definitely happen again here. We'll have to see how it's going to be on this restart. If any more drama happens, especially near the front, Scully off and away yet again. The green flag in the air. Furness, we saw last restart, made a desperate dive to the inside. He's going to look again to the inside of the 27. We'll see if Beckner is able to haul him off a second time.
Furness got more of a nose ahead of the 27 that time. Cameron Hearn, almost forgot to mention him. He's on fresh tires. He's up to 4th already and trying to look 3 wide. And we'll see what he does with Beckner. He's another one who had drama with the driver, the 27, on Tuesday night. But we'll see. Once again, we'd be surprised if it carries over multiple series as Furness looks strong this time. Oh, Matthew Bell! Matthew Bell's in the wall in turn 1. Oh, and Spencer Brown hit him hard.
Oh, that's going to be dramatic here. Championship implications for the number 43. See what happened to put him in the wall and potentially out of it here. Heading off into turn 1. Oh, did he just go loose by himself? He did. Oh, man, and a hit to the nose. Ow, in the left front as well.
There's
Spencer
another one
Brown.
from the modified division.
Yeah, that's the last thing he needed in his playoff fight, as Spencer Brown had nowhere to go here. We'll see here. It's almost like Hunter, the closing rate to the back bumper of Hearts maybe caught him by surprise. He just couldn't catch it. He almost got Therian.
That's a teammate too. IRLC Motorsport teammates both fighting to make it into the top 4, and obviously going to be a tough battle here on out for the 43.
Oh, man, that's a meaty hit to that left front.
Beckner, meanwhile, as we go by pit road, not a lot of people pit, but Travis Beckner does pit from 3rd.
Yeah, at this point I don't blame him for coming on down. I think he's felt he's run enough, got enough heat cycles on these tires that it's worth coming on down. It looks like a couple drivers have also come on down as well.
He pit from 3rd. I think the next closest was Chris Rabel from 6th. And then after Rabel, it wasn't until Justin Sogak in 13th. So very scarce from the drivers at the front didn't pit. Rabel does get out ahead of Beckner, interestingly enough.
And I guess no better person than to ask you, Connor, because you on Monday you try to stay out there for the long run, and then you ended up having to pit under green. So for these drivers, what's the best call? Like we're looking at James Scully, John Furness, and Garrett Grant. They're all yet to pit. Everyone else has come down at least once. So when do you come in? You want to come in a little? Do you want to wait it out, or do you run the risk of it just going green to the end?
Well, the way it's going, the attrition rate goes up, so do your chances of going green for a long period of time. What caught me out on Monday night was drivers who pit on the final caution before a green flag run came out, and they pit because they could make it to the end on fuel. I was in a situation where I stayed out and I couldn't make it to the end on fuel, so when that green flag run happened, it really screwed me. The extra stop I still might have gotten a top 5 out of it if the late yellow didn't come out, but right now we're at a point. I don't think the tanks in these Xfinity cars can go 120 laps, so staying out right now, keeping track position for Scioli and Furness, it's not that big of a deal, but say you get to about lap 60 and 70, and you try staying out and can't make it on fuel, that's probably the wrong move to make, because you need to make sure you can make it to the end on fuel, because you never know when that long run's going to come as we get 2 laps to green here.
It would really be interesting if this goes green for a long period of time, because Ryan Hartz has now worked his way up to 7th, and get to see how those go with everyone else inside top 10 who has yet to pit, still on their original set, Scioli, Furness, and Garrett Grant. But Weishart, Hearn, Mason Kane, Nick Silver, and Ryan Hartz, the ones that pitted about 20 laps ago, have worked their way through the top 10. So is Shane Tyrion. But then I look a little further behind and see what the drivers of Jordan Martin, Brad Slaughter, Bryce Seneside can do with only 8 laps on their tires.
Yeah, curious to see how it's going to play out for Ryan. Ryan Hart's think it's going to be looking pretty good. I think now that he's got himself out of the back half of the field, it's a big weight off his shoulders, especially because he's seen quite a few bad wrecks happen back there. But meanwhile, now we got guys like Travis Beckner in the thick of things, trying to look at see who else. He's actually, I think, one of the lowest running drivers at the moment, besides Matthew Bell, who's currently out at the moment. I doubt we will see him back on the racetrack.
He's already left the session, so that is his playoff hopes completely done.
And that's how it is. One small mistake and your championship hopes are done. We'll see. Still have 7 drivers left in the running, and how they will organize. Well, 6 that are able to change their fate, how it'll organize as you go back green here. Scully off and away. Now Cameron Hearn has the chance. We've seen John Furness attack Travis Beckner. And here comes Cameron Hearn trying to do the same to the 28.
This probably won't be too much of a fight with Furness on slightly older tires, but he does get a good run.
Santo all the way up the track in turn 2, keeps it going straight though. Hearn trying to use the fresh tires to his advantage compared to John Furness, as Scioli continues to lead in the turn 1 on board with Weishart as Hearn completes the pass.
Solid pass for the 67, so up 1 spot for him. David Weiser, whoa, with a bit of a wiggle, and in behind them, Nick Silver, Mason Kane making some contact. Ryan Hart sitting in behind both these drivers.
I don't think there was contact between the two. I think Silver drifted up and hit that wall, but was able to continue. Slight damage as Hart's in the 7th as it runs. And right before this restart, Furness, Beckner, Therian were all tied on the cut line. Oh, caution in the back. Looks like a single car, just Sogak.
Oh boy. Well, they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. There are the cautions tonight.
Hit the ground.
Shane Abbey hit the ground running, literally.
Munsell hit the 88 running. He will run away from the 88 after that. That was a little bit of a dump and run, but definitely didn't mean to do it, I would assume, but definitely gave it to him.
At least for Justin, didn't hit anything. Just a small tap.
That was a heck from that angle, it does not look good.
No, it doesn't look good. We'll see. We'll see how it is from here. Oh yeah, just
wait. That's probably Munsel's normal line entering. He just didn't expect the 88 to really check up that much, but it's already happened as we get more pit stops, and now this time James Scioli he did take the left-hand turn on the pit road.
So he'll come down and get service to his machines. I'll leave actually John Furness out. So everyone on different strategies here, so you see how this plays out with guys on some guys on the same tires that they started this race with. John Furness and Garrett Grant yet to get service to their machines. Cameron Hearn out in the lead with fresh tires. I'm a bit surprised that John Furness didn't decide to come in with Scioli, so he's going to be out there on some of the oldest tires near the front of the field. So the chances are he is going to drop back pretty quick. We'll see how the restart plays out, but before that, we're going to cut to just a quick break. We'll be right back here for the restart. All right, we're back here at Richmond here after some early cautions, slowing down the pace here. And already some drivers out in the playoff standings. This is really starting to heat up here, especially for the remaining drivers running on track here. Just about to go back green, but before we do, let's take a quick look again at the point standings coming into tonight. Obviously, James Scully locked in, nothing to worry about for him. But we already seen Matthew Bell, he was 10 points below the cutoff line behind Travis Beckner coming in. But unfortunately, guys, we've seen he's already out of it.
Yeah, just right hook into the outside wall. Spencer Brown nowhere to go. That is day done for the 43. One of the stronger drivers this season. Definitely contender for the Final Four all season long, but it will not be meant to be this season. Theory and Furness Hart still fighting to get one of those spots away from Cameron Hearn, David Weishart, and Travis Beckner. And with so many strategies, tire-wise and fuel-wise going on right now, it could be anyone's race right now.
Yeah, we'll see whose race is going to be now with Cameron Hearn in control of the field for the first time, other than the number 7 of James Keller back green. Mason Kane already looking 3 wide to the outside of the 28, decides to peel back in line. David Weishart stuck in behind the 67 and that 28 again with the oldest tires out of anyone in the field, struggling to hang on.
But with so little green flag laps the last number of times, see if the heat cycles hurt him or they're not that big of a factor, as he's still holding on to the right rear of Weishart, trying to slot in the third, but he won't have room below. Ryan Hartz is going to fill that gap, but look how strong he's still getting to turn number 1, even with older tires.
Ooh, Furness still fighting on that outside of Weishart, trying to take second away. Going to need every spot he can. As they work their way through 3 and 4, Hart's going to slowly creep into the picture too, try to throw his name into it as they continue to battle. And a little further back here is Greg Mitchell, Brad Slaughter, Chris Rabel, and Travis Beckner.
Big battle between all of these drivers in this big gaggle. Beckner in the middle of all this. See right there on the 27, and James Scully as well on the inside.
Scioli kind of the very end of this cycle, the latest to get tires, as he is battling Beckner, who is on a similar strategy with him, so it's really a race between those two who can get through the field, but Beckner's stuck behind Mitchell. Skyler can't go anywhere because he's side by side with Chris Rabel.
A little further up the road, you see Weishart trying to clear second from John Furness, although he's still fighting on that outside. Hartz was trying to throw his car in and close the hole for the 28 to try and get down. As now it looks like the 33 might have him clear.
Yeah.
No, still fighting.
Yeah, Furness is like a hornet in Weishart's ear. He's refusing to give this up, and he's continuing to annoy him. I'm sure Weishart cannot wait to just throw it into the corner and clear, and finally he gets clear of that 28. They've been battling for at least the last 10 laps, so Weishart finally clear and can set his sights on Cameron Hearn up ahead. Now Ryan Hart's in behind. I'm sure he's going to try to look at having a chance at, getting past the 28 as some contact in behind. Mason Kane, Jordan Martin in the wall.
Martin, they both hit it pretty good, and that was really Furness realizing he was really fighting just to wait to see if he could get a hole in front of Ryan Hartz, and finally when he realized he had room to get in front of a 3, he did not take that for granted and just got in front of him. Now he's able to keep a gap on the 3 here and stay into 3rd position. Those old tires really not worn enough to make a difference.
I was about to say, as he lost second to Weishart, fell back to 3rd. When he was fighting on that outside, is that going to hurt the tires more, Connor, when you're trying to contend and still get alongside the quarter panel and corner exit?
I think it is going to hurt a little bit. I think you would rather be on the bottom. Just the top line has not really been that great here for a few years, unfortunately, so you really don't want to have to be on that top line. You really only use it for defending. It's not even like other tracks where you can get to that right rear and hold them down and pass them. It's really just a line for defending against drivers, and it will wear your tires out if you're not careful. So we'll see how this works out for Furness. He is usually one of those better long-run drivers, but that could hurt him.
And you had a battle here. Travis Beckner versus Brad Slaughter. This is a battle for 10th place. And then behind them, Nick Silver, Garrett Grant. Oh, and Colin Fambro in the wall and causing a big checkup in behind. That was a meaty hit.
He's had a few troubles so far tonight with some damage from previous incidents. Actually no, I was going to say not a big hit, but it was a pretty big slap as he starts to fall back. He's back to 14th. Justin Munsell is even further back trying to recover from his EOL from the last yellow with the 88 as up at the front, nothing doing. Because of the tire advantage, Cameron Hearn is rocketing away from David Weishart.
And as they run in the point standings, Weishart with a 15-point gap. Hearn obviously in the lead. That would lock him in. 4th is Travis Beckner in the point standings as they run. Only 5 points separating him and Shane Therian as Beckner continues to run outside the top 10, trying to work his way back. Actually, he's in 9th. Outside the top 10 is, inside. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Shane Therian is running 5th right now, so Therian would need a few more spots, and then John Furness, 10 points out, still would need a win. Hartz would need a win, and Matthew Bell is in 8th, so he's already eliminated as he's caught up in that crash. So the top 5 consisting of playoff drivers, with 3 of them all on the outside trying to look in.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have 7 of our 8 playoff drivers, all of which running on the track, all in the top 8. And actually make the top 7 as Beckner just dives to the inside of Mason Kane. If he can clear 31, which he will do with those fresh Goodyears, he will get that spot and secure that spot. Chris Rabel also in behind, going to do the same. And he'll get clear the 31, so 29 up to 8th place as well. So there you go. All of our playoff drivers still running, all in the top 7, all on completely different tire strategies. Drivers with the newer tires, 17 laps old. Guys with the oldest tires, 55 laps old. That's John Furness. That being said, he's not doing too bad on them. Again, there are quite a few of those laps were under caution, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse for the 28.
Yeah, and I still think this is everyone has to pit one more time. I really don't think anyone's able to make it on fuel, so if he can still maintain track position and save a set of tires while doing it if it goes green, that's pretty well done by the 28 if he's able to do that. But he's still going to need a lot more to make it that next round the way it runs. He will likely need to win, and he will have a lot of ground to make up on that 67. He is still lapping 10th faster than David Weishart, a 10th faster than David Weishart. But even through traffic on the freshest tires in the field, James Skylerly is still faster.
He just put up the fastest time, 22.989. Hearn had a 23.056. And he's working on Therian for the 5th spot as they roll into turn 1.
Rolling into turn one, Skyler to the inside, using the fresher rubber to his advantage. Up ahead, Ryan Hart's trying to make a move on John Furness, and we've seen Furness be very, very tough to pass. So Skyler going to try to get past there, and the 3 will also get past the 28.
Furness realizing he still has a gap to the 7, just not going to fight it on the top line. I think we're already starting to see that risks of that top line, but also, like we've been saying, his tires are significantly older than those around him, and that it'll be in a few laps it'll be old tires versus new tires with the 28 and 7 converging. Skyler got by Beckner and Rabel, who hit the caution before. Those two still working on Shane Therian for 6th.
There are way too many different strategies and laps on tires all throughout this leaderboard. As Beckner's on the bumper of Therian out for the 6th spot. Will he have a strong enough run to send it in the corner? No, back off and let it roll.
Yeah, Beckner playing it patient here again. I think he knows that he is in a decent spot here. He just has to kind of play his cards right now that he's inside, and he's actually fighting really with Shane Therian, who's now 5 points behind him. So if you can get another spot, it'd be looking good. No need to, put yourself at risk. You accidentally wreck the 38, you give yourself an EOL, and you're back in the thick of the pack and have a chance of getting wrecked out like what we saw with Matthew Bell. And he's working all over the back of him, trying to see if he can make a move. Does he look to the inside? He tries to have a look, and there he goes with the dive.
He'll likely get this spot in a few laps' time. Let's pay attention to Mason Kane. He had a wiggle off of turn 2 last time by, and there is a big gap between him and Chris Rabel in 8th, as Kane's got half the field kind of piled in behind him, as this 27 of Beckner finally almost clears Therian. Not quite able to do it. Look out, squeeze off the top in turn 4, as 38, Therian will not let him go easily. He knows it's an important spot, but I still think it's a losing battle. Now Beckner gets clear.
Beckner clears for 6th, then Skyler clears for 4th, as Hartz is now caught up with the 33 of Weishart. A little further back, though, Mason Kane, Jordan Martin, 9th and 10th, and then even outside of that, Brad Slaughter, Nick Silver, Justin Munsell still working on that outside line. Oh my gosh, this is flirting with disaster here.
I was about to say that 31 was struggling.
Really loose off of turn 4 there, trying to use as much as that car's got left. And again, oh man, Kane in the wall hard. And I can see Slaughter, Silver, Munsell, Fambro, 3 wide, and there goes the 6 around.
Oh, and the 0-9 of
yellow.
Genesack.
There goes the yellow. And I was going to say, when Hunter was going to pass it off to me, that I have a feeling the caution's going to come from this group.
Kind of saw that coming.
And my
3
thoughts
wide.
are right. And yeah, so it started 3 wide into turn 3. Everyone fighting for the same spot, and around they go.
3 wide was never going to work there in that tight space. I think Munsell just wanted to lane around the aching 31. So we'll definitely see Furness pit this time, I would say, as you see they come together, 18 up the track, nowhere to go, and poor Bryce Genesack, I think, has gotten in every single caution tonight, and really none of it's been his doing. It's unfortunate, but that's how Richmond goes sometimes.
Yeah, I'm really interested here as we look from Casey Lacassas onboard, what the pitch strategy is going to be for some of these guys. You got 54 lap old tires, 66 lap old tires, 28. Well, there we go. Everyone's coming down
say,
the
I was going to say we had a really decent run on the tires last time through. I'll be surprised if we saw anyone stay out. I think now's a better time than any to just at least come in and pit. And every single person on the track is coming on down.
Maybe we'll see strategy 2 or 4 tires, although I highly doubt it. You'll see that until maybe the very end if we get in that scenario. Beckner stops short in his stall.
No.
But he will still, he didn't overshoot it, which is important not to do here, as Santa Sogak drives through. He'll come back down next time. And off of pit road first will be the 67, then followed by Weishart. Furness gets out 3rd, so that strategy works out for him. And Scioli gets out 4th in front of Beckner.
Okay. Now we got ourselves a race here, folks.
Ryan Hartz, I think he must have missed his stall because I feel like he lost a lot of spots through that.
Oh yeah, extra 5 seconds in this pit compared to everyone else.
Take a look and see what happened to the 3 down on pit lane. He's running well. If everything went to plan, they should have played out very well for him strategy-wise. So he went into his box. And
that's in the stall to me. Yeah, he came in. Where did he come in? He came in 5th.
Yeah, so he should have been at least in the
He
top
came in
10.
third.
We came in 3rd.
Yeah, let's see. And wonder if he had damage to fix.
That's maybe. That's the only thing I could think of having to repair damage because
But
didn't miss the stall.
I wonder why he would even bother. That's a bit surprising because I wouldn't know if it was only 5 seconds of damage. Like I wouldn't bother with that.
That's a weird one because I really don't see any visual damage on his car, anyways. I never remember him hitting anyone.
No, I mean maybe when he's coming through the order, maybe a little bump scrape here and there. But yeah, I'm just surprised that he would have waited to get that, or if he had something to do, maybe he stepped away. I'm not sure. It was just really bizarre because he should have gone away. But it's gonna either way. It's cost him a couple spots as everyone gets cycled out. He's now down to only 11th, but he's put himself again a little bit closer to that danger zone. And we see now how chaotic these restarts can get in the middle of the field. So that's putting himself at risk. If he's not careful, he could be closer to where Matthew Bell is at the moment. And then a quick update for the points as they run. Weishart 17 up on 17 up over the cut line. Beckner 11 up. Then it's Terrian, who's the first driver out. Of course, Cameron Hearn in due to being the leader. Terrian 11 points out. Ryan Hart's 15 points out. John Furnace 16 points out.
It was just down
the race.
Sorry, I was just doing my best, Eric Weiland here. Went down to figure out what happened with the 3 of Hearts, and it was just topping off on fuel. So just trying to get every ounce of fuel left in that number 3. That explains the extra 5 seconds. Going to restart 11th here. I guess he's anticipating a long green flag run and maybe trying to stretch it.
Wouldn't you be taking full fuel on the stop anyways?
Yeah, I can understand maybe an extra second at most. 5 seconds is a little weird. If he's topping up for 5 seconds, I might want to call that car down for post-race inspection because might have a bit bigger of a gas tank than the rest of the competitors out here. But we'll see what happens here. If we even get it to the green till the end of the race, we'll see Cameron Hearn off and away. Green flag back in the air. Now it's David Weishart, John Furnace fighting off into turn 1.
Case Lacatus had something happen there. He did not go. Caused a stack up at the very back. But at the front, Harton cleared of a lead. Weishart, Furnace side by side for second. Finally on even tires. But now the roles are reversed. One's on the bottom, the other's back on the top. But Weishart got a good run out of turn number 4.
Furnace going to look for that second spot. Heading into turn 1, going to send
Whoa!
it deep. Too deep. He's in the wall.
Oh, and he hit it hard. That's going to really hurt his car, and he's going to lose so much track position.
That's going to hurt a ton, and that just puts Scioli in the second spot, and Furnace sending it in way too deep. So we take a look at the Simrat Market replay. Knew he was sending it in. Didn't think it would go that much.
That almost looks like too much rear brake.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's going to put him out of it and down the order and damage. And Connor, you mentioned that right side damage. You could hurt the aero, especially for him. That's a decent amount of damage to the right front.
Oh, he slapped it hard. But I was about to say the same thing. At least
fire in the wall.
Oh, and 3 wide. Oh, boy. Oh, hang on, folks. Nick Silver going to just get clear of the 28 on the inside, so they're back to 2 wide action.
Talk about rare mistakes. Furnace doesn't make those often. Neither does Slaughter. Very odd, and now they're side by side after both making mistakes, both pancaking that right side. But as I was going to say about that 28, at least me personally in an Xfinity car, use a lot of rear brake here because you need it to rotate through the corners. But it does make those entries very, very tough. And if you miss your mark by a little bit with a lot of rear brake in it, it is going to spin you around like it did for the 28.
Riding on board with the 33 of Weishart, currently 11 points above the cut line as they run, and that debacle from John Furnace, that put him 23 points below. Hart's 22 points below, and Therian 11 points outside the cut line, even though he's running in 4th. And here's Furnace and Slaughter still going at it for the 9th spot.
Yeah, Furnace trying to hold in every spot he can. I just went back because when I was... Whoa, you can see right there the wheel twitching there, just coming off the corner. I was going to say, when I saw him coming off of turn 2, he was really loose. You can see right there he's having to counter steer into the corner. And off the corner, a little bit more composed that time around. But this car is looking sketchy to drive, and I imagine it's probably because of that damage.
Meanwhile, at the front, lead change. Scioli went to the front in turn 1 last time by. Hearn went It almost looked like he gave it to him in turn 1. He went so far up the track, which is what he did on Tuesday night as well. But either way, the 7 back to the point. As you'll see here, just way up the track. But he didn't slide up the track, which is odd.
Interesting change for the lead there with Cameron Hearn. I wonder if that was maybe just a mistake. Maybe he sent it too far in, was trying to then make sure he didn't eat up his tires, and just said, now I'll give it to the 7. He's the faster car at the moment. They're not teammates, right? The 67 and 7?
No, but I think that's just a case of Cameron being Cameron. I don't think he had a mistake there. He just decided to race Scioli from behind. He immediately, just like he did Tuesday night, he just stays on his rear bumper and will race him hard here. But that 7's going to be fast on the long run.
Oh man, he's all over the rear end.
To the outside here, just trying to get clean air on the nose. Important. Really pushing the exits as close to the wall as he can get, but not able to make another move back on that 7.
The over-under from Cameron Hearn. Going to look back to the inside, side by side with the 7. Here they go, back again. So Hearn back on the attack.
See how hard Scioli wants to fight this. I'm sure he's confused too. He's like, didn't he just give it to me? But he's going to want to take it back, as Hearn did lead that lap, and this will bring Travis Beckner into it. These are the 3 that fought hard, and it got rough Tuesday night. And they're back in the top 3 once again, as Beckner got the 3rd, Theory in the 4th, Weishart still in 5th. Wow.
It looked like the 7 was about to use the front bumper there on the 67, but settle in 3rd for the time being, as Beckner was closing in on them. Oh boy.
Great battle for the lead with these 3, especially with Travis Beckner. Started in 2nd place, dropped back a couple spots early on, especially with the way the tire strategy played out. Now back near the front, sitting in 3rd, trying to see if he can get around not only the 7, but the 67 as well. For Ryan Hart, it's been a decent restart for him. He restarted in 11th. He's up to 7th place. As John Furness has pretty much stopped the bleeding. He's gotten past Brad Slaughter, has been under attack again. I think for him, the game plan is just to nurse this car back to the next caution, then see how much he can fix of it.
See how much he can fix it, and if he's even willing to fix it, as Hurt starts to grow his lead back out. And a few battles here and there. No side-by-side right now, but Alex Weaver, Bryce Senesac close for 14th. Weaver's the new leader in the modified clubhouse after Greg Mitchell somehow found his, and he's 11th. So 62, no front bumper, no problem. Still top 14.
Looking through the field, the one thing that stands out to me the most is that John Furness, I guess, still inside the top 10. Him and Brad Slaughter, even after both smacking the wall, still running good. As we look out the bumper of Chris Rabel, the highest of those not in the playoffs, running in the 6th spot, as Hartz is looking to close in and pass him for that position.
18-3 get really, really close. That bow tie getting very big in the mirror of Chris Rabel on entry. Gets a little bit back on the exit. Let's see where both these drivers are prioritizing it right there. The 3 gets so close and then loses a little bit on exit, but he has been closing in consistently on 29. Curious to see when he plans on making that move. Ryan Hart's in the number 3, and again,
we almost made it there.
yeah, I think he's going to try to see if he can get a decent run on the exit. I see some cars up ahead getting around. Dom DeLeo is a lap car. And Hartz backs off on this occasion. For Ryan Hartz, he's running well, but well is not looking to be enough. He's still 22 points behind the cutoff. And at this point, it's looking like he basically will have to go out there and win this race.
Is he going to have the pace to do that, though? Because that 67's looking fast, and you know Scioli's going to be fast as well. It's going to be a tall task to get to those top 3 right now, including Beckner, as DeLeo still lets the rest of the field by. As that battle for 14th is turning into a battle for 15th as Senesac goes backwards. Garrett Grant, start 201. He'll get it by him. Case Licata is still trying to fight back from a poor restart, as finally at the front, Hartz does get by Chris Rabel, so 6 of our 7 playoff drivers left in the top 6. Still
Still close quarters racing throughout the majority of this field, as Look at Therian holding on to 4th. Weishart closing in, trying to get around him. Hartz, meanwhile, trying to close in as he completed the pass on Rabel for the 6th position. Right out the bumper now, Therian.
Chase Therian doing a really good job defending so far off of Weishart. Weishart still trying to recover from that contact that he and Furness had. Weishart running really well up until that point. Now just been trying to get that back here as Hart starts to close in on his mirror. So 3 versus 33 pending here for the 3 to break inside the top 5. We're trying to run through the rest of the order. And then the modified division's getting a little spicy here. 13th place. Weaver versus Justin Asogic and Garrett Grant. 3 wide out of turn 4.
This already didn't work once with the 62, I'm pretty sure, but they did sort it out before the corner that time. Oh, Grant washes up though, but he'll get the launch and just blow by the 88. And Asogic, we've seen this so much of him this year, just struggling with long run pace, and showing once again here is that that 62 looks ugly, no getting by it, but still not too bad speed-wise, leading that modified division over Steve Durham. It's really just a 1v1 at this point.
As right behind Grant, you see right along the outside, I believe that is Casey Licata's trying to make ground on the 88 of Justin Asogic, looking to complete the pass on the outside. Going to do just that as Asogic trying to stop the bleeding, even though he's continuing to fall. And right behind Wheeler, we saw the 09 Sensec try to make a look to the inside. Not going to do it yet, as the 1 of Durham closes in on Weaver for the modified division.
Checking back up at the front of the field, Cameron Hearn, that lead's expanded now to 7/10 of a second over James Scioli. Beckner has fallen back a little bit as well. Then Shane Terrian is under attack, and it looks like he might end up letting Weiser by. Not sure this is planned or not. I would assume not. But here comes the 33 now looking to the inside. Ryan Hart and Rabel in the mix.
Rabel, great speed tonight. He's had great speed and across all the series he's running the past few weeks, keeping up with these playoff drivers as they go side by side for the 4th position. No lap traffic in sight after getting by the 95 of Brown, as he's trying to run way high. He might have gone too high there as he has to lift. 33 is clear, and here comes Hartz just shoving Weishart into turn number 3.
Yeah, Hartz was trying to do what Garrett Grant did with that 3 wide move a moment ago, where he entered a little bit higher and diamonded it down towards the exit of the corner. Going to look to the inside, though, now for the 4th spot. Hartz, again, in a point scenario where he needs to win to get into the final round, as he still has yet to complete the pass on Weishart, still putting up a fight on his outside.
Weiser trying to pinch the number 3 to the inside, ruin his run off the corner, but gets a much better run. 3 at least gets a better run. Coming out of turn 4 will clear. Hold on to 4th place. Weishart in 5th, Rabel in 6th, Terrian dropping all the way back to 7th. Not exactly what he needs at the moment. Hart's continuing his climb up forward. And how about for Nick Silver, actually still hanging in on this? He made that pit call to stay out earlier on, and he's been hanging on pretty well. Great run for the 46. John Furness trying to catch up. He's been struggling to catch back up, but still keeping these drivers in check.
Actually faster than all of them except Hartz last time by. That 3 might rocket away from that battle for 5th, as he ain't trying to close in on him even with all that damage, but it is going to be so tough with the fender and splitter and hood damage. It's going to really take a toll on that 28, but as you were saying, 46, strong 8th place run. One of the cleanest cars on track right now. Does have the rear end of that 46 bent up, but that won't hurt him too much as he is catching that 38 of Therian quickly.
Ooh, Slaughter. Not sure if he might be coming down pit road.
Yeah, it's some severe damage to the 9 that I don't think was there a while ago. I wonder if he's got some recent contact with the wall.
I think he just he hit it again. There. But he had the big hit earlier.
Oh,
so
okay.
Either this is, well, he might be, when was our last yellow? Around lap 66? Could be a strategy play. He does like hitting early. So this just could be one of those plays.
We'll see if he decides to do that. I would imagine everyone will be trying to make it to the end, as what we saw with Ryan Hartz and him spending extra time in pit lane. So, and thank you, Connor, for the update. So, Brad Slaughter out of the car. He'll call it a night. He'll join a couple other drivers: Mason Kane, Justin Munsell, Andrew Santo, Matthew Bell, Shane Abbey, and Forrest Smith all calling it a night early on. 20 drivers will remain on the track, and of those, only 18 on the lead lap.
Don't look now, but Cameron Hearn completes another lap here, the last time by the fastest driver on the track, albeit by only 4/1000ths. It was the 3 of Ryan Hartz, as he's now clear for 4th and getting away. And this time by, he was once again faster than the 3 ahead of him, but the second fastest was not Hearn, it was James Scioli.
Yeah, that 7's been closing in, and as soon as the 3 got away from the kerfluffle with the 29 of Rabel and the 33 of Weishart, he's been able to put down some pretty good lap times, but gonna need to pick up the pace here a little bit as we've crossed 45 to go. And Scioli continuing to close in on Cameron Hearn, only 8 car lengths back, but not all doom and gloom yet for the 3, still clinging on to life.
He's going to keep clinging, and I think he's going to hope that something happens at this point to bring out a caution and get them back together again. I think if the 3, now that he's got the track position back, if the caution comes out, might have enough pace to wrestle with the 67.7 and the 27, but the gap, it's not terrible at 3.5 seconds, but he's going to need to either work the tires really hard or hope something horrible happens to the leaders up ahead of him.
Scioli starts to reel in that 67 a little more as smoke billows from Shane Abbey's destroyed car on pit road. Starting to see that long run pace finally come into play, but still single file through that whole ordeal. That battle for 14th has not gone away, as obviously the battle for 5th is on as well. Rabel sliding behind Weishart, but Alex Weaver and Bryce Senesac for 14th have been in a dogfight the past 20 or 30 laps.
Yeah, these guys, even though they're outside the top 10, they're still fighting for any position that they can get. And it's Weaver, Senesac, and then the 18 of Fambro side by side down the front.
Sideways out of 4, had to just let everyone by.
Weaver letting Fambro and Senesac on through. They continue their fight, still duking it out for 14th, one of the closest battles on the racetrack at the moment.
We're seeing Furness keep those guys in front of him in his vision. They are starting to flip away from him now as Greg Mitchell's starting to close in on that 28. So that damage may be finally starting to take its toll as he just lets the 2 of Mitchell by.
Gonna clear him there. That's for the 9th spot. Still hanging on is the 28 of Furness, but gonna need a caution to get back into this and try to win. It's the 38 of Therian as well. Gonna need something to happen. He's holding off Nick Silver for the time being.
Silver looking really strong on the entry in the middle of the corner, even on exit as well. He got a great 3 and 4 that time by over the back of the 38. The battle for 7th place between these two.
The front, 3 still fastest car on the track, but this 46 not too far off either. Closing in with a little bit, not a cleaner car than the 38, but just a little bit faster really everywhere around the track compared to the 38, but you'll hit that small wall of dirty air. It'll hurt his progress just a little bit until he can kind of get through that bubble of dirty air and just get to his bumper.
Rolling through still, running out of laps though for drivers on the outside looking in, including the 3 of Ryan Hart's. Gonna need to maybe find the luck of a caution, although he's still running laps faster than Cameron Hearn. 23.5 that time from Hearn, 23.4 from Hart's. You're going to have to pick up the pace a little more. We continue to watch Weishart fend off 5th from Chris Rabel.
Yeah, doing the best he can, trying to get as many points as possible as they run at the moment. David Weishart is actually tied with Travis Beckner, 14 points ahead of the cutoff line. So, yeah, I think he's not necessarily too concerned as they go. He's looking good. That being said, though, if we see caution come out, if Therian or Ryan Hartz or John Furness get near the front, they can really upset the order. But for now, Furness is slipping back. The damage starting to, as Connor mentioned earlier, the damage starting to get to him. And Therian and Weishart also looking like they're starting to slip back at the moment. Ryan Hartz looks like he's going forward, but he needs to go forward a little bit quicker. That gap, last time we looked at it, was around 3.6 seconds, and now 3.2 seconds the gap to the lead.
Yeah, it's getting to the point close to 30 laps to go. He's going to have to start catching over a tenth per lap soon enough. And Hearn is too consistent right now for anything to really happen of that sort. Once again, he's half a tenth faster than Hearn that time by Ryan Hartz was, but that just will not be enough. And I will say, a little surprised to see Scioli not really in the 67, just not able to have the long run pace that we're usually accustomed to, but that doesn't really matter, obviously. He's locked in, he doesn't really need to worry about this race.
A little further back outside the top 10, Garrett Grant's running in the 12th spot, just in front of him, Jordan Martin 11th on the speedway, as these guys have fought and clawed throughout the race. And Garrett Grant mentioned this past Tuesday night made his 200th area start. This is start 201, looking to get a little better result here tonight, trying to make it one spot better than he is right now.
Not quite able to get there. Nick Silver up out the road is trying to see if he can get around Shane Tyrion, and Tyrion looks a little bit sideways into turn 1. I think he's trying to push that car a little harder, trying to see if he can avoid the 46 getting around him, because he can really use every point he can get at this time in the race.
And he's looking there trying to defend. Here comes Ryan Hartz for that third position. He's under Beckner here. He caught him pretty fast the past 2 laps, as that 27 really struggling now as well, but he will fight the 3 as hard as he can. Good launch off of turn 2, holding him back. Hartz needs to have perfect laps to catch a 67, and this won't do, as you can see how aggressive he's trying to be to shove that 27 a little higher so he can get a better arc out of the corner. He should maybe have him here, but Beckner fired it in.
And we'll see what happens on corner exit, as the 27 still to the outside of the 3 of Hartz as they continue to duke it out for the podium spot. And we're across 30 to go now, so the 3 of Hartz going to have to complete the pass here, but Beckner's still there on the outside. He's going to shut the door on him, and now Hart's going to set sail and try to close in on Scioli.
I was going to say Ryan Hartz needed to be aggressive there, and you saw him kind of wash out that one time, caused Beckner to check up, so that's exactly what Ryan Hartz needed to do, up now to 3rd. You see right up ahead, down the road, is James Scioli, still a little over second in behind. Cameron Hearn in the 67.
Lost time there. The gap was last time by. It's up to about 3.5 seconds again, up from 3.3. But once he finally got clean air over Beckner, he reeled them back in by about a tenth. But like we said a few laps ago, at this point, it is going to need to be over a tenth gain per lap for Hartz to get there, or else his playoff hopes are up.
Let's see what the lap times are this time by. Still 1.2 seconds separating Hearn and the 7 of Scioli. As they crumb through that time by, it's a 23.53 for Ryan Hartz, so still about a tenth quicker, but gonna have to pick up the pace a little more as they now work their way through the lap car of just Anasoga.
While we're looking at James Scioli here, race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the finest hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. And the Rick's Hot Sauce machine has been doing really well this season so far. This race, though, looks like it won't get another win, much to, I imagine, James Scully's dismay as you take a look at his racing machine. Some may argue he doesn't have enough win stickers on the top.
I think he probably could fit a few more on there. He will have to fit at least one more on there to win the title, probably, that's for sure. As a clear for second, but that 3 is closing in ever so slightly. It was exactly a tenth the previous lap, and this time by Hartz was only half a tenth faster than the 67 of Hearn, but almost 2 tenths faster than the 7 of Scioli.
Checked! Sideways caution out! And that changes everything.
Weishart was 15 above the cut. That looked to be a dive bomb from Chris Rabel.
Oh boy.
Well, he's lucky to get away clean from that.
Yeah,
just
I was
a little
about to
tap
say.
with the bumper.
I was about to say the same thing, Hunter. He didn't really get much damage out of that, but we'll check what Rabel does on the Cement Market replay. He dives under him like Kyle Busch Dale Jr. in 2008. Never really got to the bottom.
Well, also, when they touched, for some reason, Weishart's car bounced in the air.
Wonder if there's maybe damage from that possibly. The left rear around the wheel looks okay, but the door might be damaged. Might get a good look at it here. Rabel just missed the corner.
Yeah, I think he was so focused on just trying to outrun the 33 into the corner that he just overdrove himself and unfortunately took out the 33. But man, oh man.
Paging Benny Parsons. I think Rabel got caught in the moment, just forgot where the yellow line was. Just a little bit of a mishap there. They'll send him to the rear, I'm sure, for an EOL. Will we see strategy here? And who gets off pit road first is going to be very important. Hearn's out in front of Hartz. And I think Hearn gets Scioli just barely.
And I think Reinhardt's just beat out Travis Beckner. It was a close race between both of them. Nick Silver ahead of Chris Rabel. Shane Terrian back in 8th. John Furness in 9th. And actually, the actually will get one more spot. Just in a Sogak went around, got the lucky dunk, so he'll drop down the order a little bit here. But oh boy, does this get very interesting.
This is almost exactly like Monday night, where we had a slew of yellows early, and then the middle portion went pretty green, and then 20-30 laps to go, another yellow bunches things up. We could be in for another wild finish with, just like Monday night, a few drivers at the front who will need to win to make it in, like Ryan Hartz and Shane Therian in 7th, Furness in 8th with all that damage. This is probably the worst case scenario for Furness because he needed a yellow earlier just to be able to repair damage, but can't do that now. As we take a look at what our standings were coming in tonight, it was Hearn, Weishart, Beckner above that cut line, and as it runs, that stays the same, and the gap increases a little bit. Those 4 below the cut line, those 3 below the cut line minus Matthew Bell, who went out early, will need to get up there to win.
Yeah, this is this could be huge and the make it or break it for some of these guys. Still waiting on points to be updated. It still says Weishart.
Yeah, I think that, what we're looking at, it's before the caution came out. So Weishart's going to be a bit further down there. He's actually not too far down. He's only in 12th. I don't think that is enough to swap him and Shane Terrian around. We'll see how it is when it updates, but it's definitely putting him a lot more at risk.
He was running 5th, and now he's down to 12th. So you subtract 7 from his total, give the 38. So they'd probably be within 5-6 points, but it's still going to take the 38 a lot more to outpoint that 33 because likely to say Weishart would still get through the field since he's not too damaged. So Therian has to make something happen.
All right, now we come to the biggest part of the night. This could be the final restart, and wondering how much of a jump that the leader will have on the inside line. It seems like 9 times out of 10 tonight we've seen the leader. In this case, it'll be Cameron Hearn. They have an advantage when they get in the restart zone. They can launch anywhere in that zone, and they just have a bigger jump compared to the rest of the field opinion. So we'll see how this works out for Hearn. And possibly, he's on the outside. Okay. Yeah, well, that's really going to be interesting.
Interesting pick. We'll see how it plays out here. Cameron Hearn leading the field. Scioli, Beckner, Hartz, Terrian, your top 5 for the playoff drivers. A fantastic opportunity to have one final shot at making it into the playoffs. We'll see how this goes. Green flag back in the air for Cameron Hearn. A great jump for him. 3 wide immediately there for second place. Hartz looking to the outside, backs out of it. Now Travis Beckner looking to the outside. They all actually missed the corner a little bit, trying to outbreak each other.
Scioli missed the corner because of the pressure from the 3 and the 27. Now Hartz is going to look low on him. Hartz really went deep on the brakes, but he was able to get under him pretty cleanly. But he has to make this pass pretty quickly to stay up that 67 of Hearn.
He's going to keep it to the inside of Scioli, heading into turn 1. Again, Hartz needs a win to get into the final round of the playoffs as he's side by side coming off turn 2. The run goes with Scioli, though, heading into 3.
We all know for Reinhardt, he doesn't want to be the driver that takes other drivers out. He wants to race them clean and fair, but is that going to be enough, especially at a short track like Richmond where you almost need to get a little bit physical to make things happen, especially this late in the going with everyone with fresh tires. And as they continue to fight, the leader, the one he's really trying to chase down, is starting to break away.
Yeah, Hearn's getting away 2 by 2 up behind him. Therian's fighting for 4th over Beckner, while Weishart's already fought his way back to the 9th position. So even that 38 getting through the field, Weishart's getting through faster as Hartz still not able to really get any sort of advantage over Scioli.
He's still trying to fight with him, the outside line, keeping the 7 in second for the time being, as Beckner, all he can do is watch on before Longy will have to use the bumper to trying to find a way around the 3 and the 7. They continue to duke it out, and Hearn continues to check out.
At one point, does Reinhardt get physical? Because at this point, he has to go for broke. He doesn't win this race. Whoa, he's sideways off the corner, trying to get better traction than 7. It's going to cost him some momentum. Actually, Skyley goes a little bit wider in the corner, maybe trying to diamond it on exit. This actually might be Reinhardt's best shot.
Oh, spin in the back. I believe that's Chris Rabel, but that's not going to bring out a caution.
He's down on the apron. We remain green here. There's Cameron Hearn, and then back for second. Reinhardt's almost able to get clear in turn 1. This is the best opportunity he's had. He has to send it. And as Skyley goes up the track, finally the 3 will slam the door shut, and he will take second place with a little bit of a bump from Skyley in return.
And that'll give Beckner the chance, to get third from Skyley. Kind of shocked the 7's giving them room on the bottom. He's not pinching, maybe afraid of maybe getting a right hook on someone, but Hartz is clear, but does he have enough time and does he have enough tire to chase down Cameron Hearn? He's gonna have to.
There's no point in saving the tire as they come through with 11 laps remaining, and there's still definitely time for the 3 to close in. Although if a late caution were to come out, we're at that point now where the average last caution come out of Richmond is 11 to go, and we're at that mark. Meanwhile, right behind them, we got Shane Therian looking for 4th from the 7 of Scioli, with Nick Silver looking on, trying to crack the top 5.
Yeah, not too far behind all these guys. This is the 28 of John Furness. He's got a lot of traffic to work through if he wants to make something happen. But again, if you, like you mentioned, Hunter, that late race caution comes out, that final caution comes out now, could be big, especially because you basically have the 3, the 38, and the 28 all trying to win this race here to get themselves in the playoffs. Because at this point, I don't think enough points are going to help. They need to go out there and win it.
Therian, as it runs, 8 behind Weishart, so it would definitely take someone cleaning out the 33 again to get the 38 maybe in on points as he's starting to... He does get by Scioli, trying to block him into turn number 3 to clear him back. Really shocked to see the 7 fall back on this short run, back to 5th, and maybe back to 6th with Nick Silver challenging. But at the front, about 8 laps to go, that 3 car of Hart's not reeling in the leader.
No, it's kind of stayed stagnant between himself and Cameron Hearn, just about a little over a second separating the 2. And a little further back, Alex Weaver on the outside, Colin Fanbrook, on the inside. They're duking it out for position, and Garrick Randing, Casey Lakatos coming close. Here comes Jordan Martin throwing his hat in the mix as well.
Close quarters amongst these drivers here, heading off into turn 1, the 17 versus the 50. Up ahead, Weisert's gotten past the 2. Oh, Greg Mitchell, he's up into 8th place. What was it, 17? Catches the apron. Man, these guys are getting me nervous. Oh, they're getting more nervous.
Oh, my gosh.
Getting very close to the left rear quarter panel of the 50. They remain clean for now back here to back up to the leaders. Reinhardt's trying to chase down Cameron Hearn. It's a little over second, the gap between them. And single file for the most part all the way back here. The 38, 7, the 46, and the 28 all close together, all fighting for 4th place.
The only person who does not want a yellow is that 67 of Cameron Hearn. Everyone else in the field would like one more shot at it. That 3 just barely hundredths faster the last few laps than Cameron Hearn. That won't do it. He will likely need a yellow or just something wild to happen to the 67.
I can tell you another driver who wouldn't want a caution, and that's the 33 of Weishart. Because say we do get a late race caution, and Hart somehow finds himself in the lead and possibly wins, that would knock Weishart out.
And then at that point, it would be who gets in over him or Beckner. Beckner's in by 3 points over Weishart on the sheet right now. New winner, it would be down between those 2 in points.
That's the last thing they all want, I'm sure, for Beckner and Weishart, if they are paying attention to how many points, because that's the big thing too, is that I'm not even sure they know exactly where they're placed, so they're just kind of running out there trying to get as best of a chance that they can get. They can kind of get an idea of how they're doing, but they'll never really know truly until the end. All they can do is perform their best. Sky looks like he's coming back on Shane Therian. Therian just trying to hold on for everything he can until he's hoping and praying a caution comes up, but that chance is starting to slip away. 2 laps to go.
And pretty spread out through the field. -1 battle with Weaver, Fambro, Jordan Martin, and Senesac, but all clear out the windshield for Cameron Hearn. He has been very dominant tonight.
Gonna roll through 3 and 4 here. Coming to take the white flag. One more lap. Can Cameron Hearn bring it home clean? Ryan Hart second. Beckner running in third.
Battle in behind Shane Terrian and James Scaiola. Caution's not going to save them now. Have to hope some kind of miracle happens in the next couple seconds, but it doesn't look like anything's going to change. Cameron Hearn, a solid effort for him. The 67 will come out after dominating for most of this race. A little bit of a drift there. Coming out of turn 4 will win here at Richmond. And for Ryan Hart, he did everything he could. He's jumped up 20 spots from where he started, but it will not be enough. He will not move on to the playoffs.
And unofficially, the 4 we came in with tonight will be the 4 going to Homestead with a shot at the Pro Series title. Scaiola, Cameron Hearn, Travis Beckner, and David Weishart unofficially would be your 4 fighting for the title. And this has got to be a good momentum boost for that 67 of Hearn to get the win right before the championship round. Big momentum.
Hasn't won since Indianapolis, and that was before the playoffs, so obviously going to be a huge confidence booster, getting win number 3 on the season, and we'll see what that momentum does for him next week at Homestead.
He will light it up here, burn it down. Win number 3 for the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Most wins this season other than the number 7 of James Scaiola. And as he enjoys a very well-earned celebration here, let's go through your final results here. Cameron Hearn taking the win. Ryan Hart's again going to be disappointed. Getting so close, but yet so far with his finish in second. Travis Beckner in third. Shane Terrian in fourth. Also going to be eliminated coming out of tonight after a strong effort. Scaiola in fifth. Silver Furnace, Weishart, Mitchell, and Garrett running your top 10. And John Furnace as well also looks so close, but he got that big damage on the right side, and that car was just never able to come back.
Mental drift burnout from Cameron Hearn in the background as you see all white numbers outside the top 10 and inside the top 20. Lakatos, Martin, Fambro, Senesac, Weaver. That group battled all night long for those positions. Lakatos came out on top. Durham lost the battle of the modifieds to Weaver, finishing 16th. And Asogak, Rabel. Rabel had a great run tonight, but that final caution screwed his finish thanks to the contact with Weishart, and then DeLeo and Spencer Brown were damaged all night long.
And then Matthew Bell had his chances at a championship cut short tonight, coming home 25th after being caught up in a crash, along with everyone else outside the top 20, wishing they had better nights.
Yeah, especially Matthew Bell losing out also very early on, losing out to moving on to the playoffs. His night ended very early on, and I'm sure he's going to be hoping for a better luck next season. But let's talk to a couple drivers here. Oh boy, everyone's jumping into the staging chat. We're all going to be talking to 3. First of which we'll be talking to is Travis Beckner. Travis, he was a solid race for you. Start up near the front, drop back a little bit with some strategy, and you came back there at the end, but it wasn't quite enough for a win. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, I just don't think I had the car to get it done tonight. Congrats to Cameron on the win. We had a little bit of a scuffle on Tuesday night, but hopefully that's over with. But I had a fun race overall. No drama tonight for me, which is good, I guess. But yeah, I had to race Hart's a little hard there, coming out of when he was coming towards me, because if he would have won, then Weishart would have got the tiebreaker on me, and I would have been out. So
now that you've locked yourself in, or you should be locked in, we're still waiting for the official results. Heading into the final round, what's the game plan?
Just really no game plan. Just go in there and try to get it done. That's it.
All right. So, well, just getting official word from Eric Wineland that you are going to be moving on. So, best of luck to you next week.
Thank you. Before I go, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Calusa Pines Landscaping, Rick's Hot Sauce, Celsius Area.shop, Black Buffalo, Holster River Machines, BG Creative, Huckett Films, everybody at Miller Race, and y'all taking the time out of your day to come broadcast this. I'm surprised my dad hasn't ran in here yet and say I love y'all. But yeah, and everybody that came out to race tonight, awesome field. Wasn't really expecting it to have 27 cars, but we'll see if we could get it done next week.
All right, let's see what happens. Travis, thank you for talking to us.
Have a good day.
All right, moving on next to Ryan Hart's second place finish. Ryan was valiant effort. You fought hard all day long, but I'm sure it stakes. You were so close there at the end. You basically needed to win the race, but unfortunately weren't able to get there. Walk us through.
Yeah, it sucks, really. So close, yet so far. Unfortunately, just I don't know. Part of me thinks that I didn't even deserve to be in the Final Four because I struggled a lot in this car during the season. I just didn't get enough bonus points. I was always just clawing my way through everything. I was hanging on by a thread during these playoffs. I mean, I was out. I was pretty much out first round, but somehow I clawed my way through. And I don't know, this round it's just been a must-win. We had a bad week last week that really put me in a hole. But, you know, Richmond's probably my best track, and I gave it my all tonight, and it was really, really good. And on the long runs, I think I had probably the fastest car on the long run. But yeah, it just sucks. It's so close, but it is what it is. It's a good season, but we'll head on to the next one, and congrats to the Final Four who made it.
All right, well, still a very solid effort for you, Ryan. You know, I guess obviously not being eligible for the playoffs next week, you're just going to go out there and win the race, try to win the race?
That's always the goal. So I haven't won in a while in either series, but you know, I'd rather lose this way than the way I did on Monday. Because Monday just was so disappointing not being able to make the Final Four. But I don't know, I'd rather lose this way. I tried my best. I ran good. But yeah, next week just go out there and win. That's all we can do.
All right. Well, Ryan, thanks for talking to us. Still very solid second place finish for you tonight.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and next we'll be talking to our race winner, Cameron Hearn. Normally the seat's been reserved for James Scully, but finally get to talk to someone different. Cameron, a very solid run for you, and you wasn't like you just came out there near the end and took it away. 109 laps led here tonight. How were you able to pull it off?
Yeah, just being consistent. I couldn't put the fastest lap down, but I felt like I'd be fine on the long run. This is my type of track where there's a lot of braking. The car is kind of loose and twitchy. I messed up one time in front of James. My foot slipped off the brake, and he got by me. But I didn't want to see that last caution. I took the outside because I figured Hart's was the fastest on that long run, and I figured he'd probably be fastest in short run. I think he was the fastest in practice, just to try to keep him back there and have a win, or not get the win, because I have David on my team racing for the get playoffs as well. But all in all, a solid team effort. David had some bad luck, but still got a pretty good position out of it. And yeah, just kept it clean. Didn't lose my cool tonight. Didn't rage at somebody. So maybe that's what it takes.
And definitely should be what it takes. And obviously, with you winning this race, automatic walk into the next round, which will be the final race of the season, Championship 4 for you. So what's the plan? Obviously, you've been chasing James Scully all season long. You're the highest win total besides him this season. So what's your plan for trying to beat him?
Just be consistent, stay with him, and have a chance at the end. I'll actually be in Daytona for Brad Slaughter's bachelor party, and he's bringing his stuff, so I'll be racing on someone else's equipment. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll have a bunch of guys in the background cheer me on, so I'm kind of excited for that.
It sounds fantastic. You better you better be on Zoom for that next week. I want to. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we actually could have a good celebration. It could go pretty bad too. So we'll see.
We'll definitely see. Well, Cameron, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on your win. Best of luck to you next week for the championship race.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, got a few more drivers to talk to you here tonight. We'll be talking to David Weishart here. Now, David, obviously you didn't win. You probably would have hoped for something a little bit better, but I'm sure you probably don't care too much because big picture-wise, you locked yourself into the Championship 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thing. Tonight was just, for me, a mess. Just, I guess my car had a bullseye on it. I mean, I almost got cleaned out by the 28 because I don't know why. I don't know if he was even in the playoffs or needed to win, or I don't know his situation. But we raced hard, and then he just dove it in there and almost took us both out. And then 29 got me late in the race for nothing. So I don't know. I'm just not that happy about tonight. But yeah, looking forward to next week at Homestead. Homestead, admittedly, is not my favorite track, not my best track. But you know, we'll put in some practice and we'll give her hell.
Yeah, I was going to ask really, what's your, I've been asking everyone in the championship for what's their plan, because obviously everyone's got a giant, you're talking about yourself being the bullseye tonight, everyone's going to probably have a bullseye on James Scully next week, so any strategy or any plans that you have for trying to beat him?
Let's see. I think I'm going to give the same answer I gave in Chicagoland. I think my strategy is just to go out there and beat him. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's probably all going to be the same thing as every other race. Just, everybody's going to be on the same strategy. It's probably going to be a 2-stop race, depending on how cautions fall. Homestead, from my memory, it's been a while since I've raced there, but it has a tendency to go green, so pit road entry is tricky there because the transition from the track to the apron is harsh, probably the harshest one we have. So yeah, just like I said, I'm gonna put in some practice. It's gonna be hard to beat James and Cameron. I feel like Travis, some tracks were even, some tracks he's a little better than me, sometimes I'm a little better than him, but I think Cameron and James are got to be going in as the favorite. Obviously James probably over Cameron, so it's gonna be tough, but we're gonna give her hell.
All right, well, David, best of luck to you next week for the championship race.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, and last but certainly not least, James, you didn't win tonight, but we're still talking to you anyway because you already locked yourself in the previous race in this round of the playoffs. It's a decent 5th place finish for you, but obviously big picture heading into the championship 4, arguably with the biggest momentum out of anyone in the field this season.
Yeah, unfortunate to be talking to you guys after a 5th place, not a win. Felt like I had pretty good speed today, but just watching Cameron on the long run, he was just way too fast. I don't know exactly what else I could have done differently. Just felt like I swung really loose, which was weird because the tire wear didn't really seem to reflect that, so don't really know why, but swung pretty loose there and just had to sit there and watch Cameron drive into the distance, and then thought when we got the yellow I might have something for him. And then just overcooked turn 1. I was watching Hartz. He was trying to go 3 wide in my mirror, and I was just trying to watch that, make sure I didn't get hit. Just completely overcooked it. So, a couple mistakes today. Hopefully, we can limit those next week. Got a chance in all 3 series to go for the championship, so really looking forward to that. This one, I think I definitely have the best shot at, but as you can see, there are a lot of different people with a ton of speed, and all 4 of us can win next week. So, it's not going to be easy. Definitely got our work cut out for us, and definitely can't be making any mistakes next week.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about next week is really for the rest of the 3 drivers. I asked, how they're going to try to beat you. Obviously, I can't really ask you that same question, but what I was going to ask you is that, going in, you've been so dominant in this series in particular, 9 wins this season. Do you feel like you got a giant target painted on your back? Do you feel like people are going to be gunning it out for you? And if so, how are you going to try to, combat against that? Because obviously, you're going to try to beat all of them for the championship.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'll be the favorite in this series going into it, and there's definitely going to be a target on my back, but I just try and race the same week in and week out. Even this race, I was locked in, but still just going for the win every single week, and I think that's what it's going to take next week, and probably all 3 series is you're going to have to win the race, so plan doesn't really change there. Just try and just go in and race like I normally do, just go for the win, and not let the championship end up getting to my head and making mistakes or anything, so yeah, just gotta race like another normal race. I know there's gonna be a lot of people talking about us 4 next week, so just gotta keep my mind clear and just drive quick.
All right, James. Well, wasn't the best finish this week, but best of luck to you for the championship race next week.
Go ahead, Hunter. If you said you got a question.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Do you remember who won last in the Xfinity cars at Homestead?
I believe that was me, season 2. I think Elwood and I had a pretty good battle for the win there, and I think Hearn was 3rd, not too far back, if I remember right.
Yeah, indeed. And David was just talking about how there's long green flag runs in, and I just checked. Both races that we've had at Homestead have gone caution-free, so fingers crossed that we can go for 3 in a row.
Yeah, definitely hoping that it goes caution-free next week. I feel like I like my chances on the log run there. Although I thought that I liked my chances on the long run here, and it didn't quite work out. So we'll put in some work for next week, try and get an idea of how it's going to race, and hopefully we can be talking to you guys next week as the winner.
All right. Well, James, thanks for talking to us. Best of luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and with that, it's going to wrap up interviews here from Richmond. Gentlemen, starting with you, Connor. Final thoughts on Richmond tonight.
Kind of what we saw on Monday night, just a wild race, wild yellows, wild crashes, and just wild racing in general. And we had the similar scenario where we had drivers at the front who needed to win, but at the end of the day, it was the drivers who have been consistent all season long and competing for wins all season long that ended up taking that chance away from those must-win drivers. In this case, it was Ryan Hartz getting his chance taken away from Cameron Hearn, and also the battle of James Scioli didn't help him as well. But I'm definitely excited for Miami. All 3 series there next week, all 3 having 4 drivers competing for a title, and could see history next week. Scioli's going for all 3 titles, which would be insane, but you just never know what's going to happen in Miami.
Indeed, as looking through over the last couple, well, really all the championship events, there's only been 1 caution. That was all the way back in Season 1. So Season 2 and Season 3 championship races went caution-free. Now, as mentioned, Homestead has never seen a caution for the Pro Series. Looking forward to who will be crowned as champion once the checkered flag flies on that. And only a week from now. And Finian, looking forward to Monday for the Cup Series championship finale.
Yeah, indeed. Looking forward to all 3 series, as Connor mentioned, heading to Homestead, Miami for the final races of all of their seasons. 4 drivers in each series, gunning for the championship. Winner takes all, no points involved. We'll see how it plays out here on Sim TV. For tonight, my name is Finian Kuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy. We'll be signing out for tonight. Thank you for watching.